Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Right, so if you haven't been watching my live streams, then perhaps you are not aware, but I did try to grind for Captain America Sam Wilson 6-star champion in the latest round of Arena. And unfortunately I missed out. I missed out with a score of 179.4 million, which, is extremely fun experience, but honestly it isn't bothering me as much as many people think it would or should. Because there were several reasons why I did the grind in the first place. Now, I had pretty much stopped grinding for 6-star featured champions about half a year ago due to, personal reasons, change in my life, moving, and, also the current game situations and stuff like that. But the main reason and the biggest reason obviously also was the increasing cutoffs in Arena. And again, I'm not making this video to kind of like complain everything's bad, everything's this, everything's that. It's more like to explain my approach, my experience, and also what I kind of, reinforced myself thinking about arenas. Now, I do think it is perfectly realistic for many people to grind for basic heroes in 6-star basic arena. I do think it's perfectly realistic to grind for repeat 6-star heroes when we get the arenas in featured arena of champions that have been in the game for a while. I do think those scores are realistically somewhat achievable. The real biggest problem is of the new champions, of the brand new champions that are being introduced in the game right now today. And that is, borderline unattainable task for vast majority of the player base. But also for even the top tier players, unless they're willing to refresh and spend a lot of money. And that was kind of like the story here for me too. Now, I did have some personal complications, so I missed off like half a round or something like that at the beginning, and I realized that in the last day. And this is the thing that I'm actually the most annoyed here about, the two things that I'm annoyed. Not the fact that I grinded and I spent 3 days grinding, not the fact that, I don't have that 6-star champion right now. I'll get that Captain America Sam Wilson eventually. I'm going to start hoarding my 6-star shards, and I'm going to wait for him to appear in 6-star featured crystal, and, I'm relatively confident that I'm going to pull him within the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months, whatever. So, it's not like I don't think I'm ever going to get this champion now. But the two things that did annoy me, number one is the fact that I ended up suffering from my own stubbornness, because in the day 3 I realized either I have to refresh or I'm going to miss out. And I was stubborn, and I ended up spending units that and spending on the game in general that I kind of don't really do anymore. I have spent this year on MCOC, but I have cut down my spending by like 80%. I have bought, a daily card here or there, or like a smaller offer here or there, but, majority of the big, most expensive offers and stuff like that, I'm just not taking part of, because, I'm not feeling confident enough that my money is, rewarded with enough or well enough. So that is number one thing that annoyed me. I spent the money that I shouldn't have. But the second thing that annoyed me was also the fact that my teammates were kind of relying on me to get this champ as a 6-star for the upcoming season for Alliance or Defense. I know that's a personal thing, but I wanted to make this video nonetheless because I would have discussed this subject whether I got the champion or not. Because this to me, again, just showcased that A, arena system have a problem, and B, that this will have even larger implications due to the balancing system. Because starting next month, starting whichever champion is going to come first, Omega Sentinel or Captain Britain, the Betty Braddock version, they're going to be subject to the balancing changes. And the only way you can acquire those champions in any meaningful rarity, realistically, when they come out, is grind arena, spend a crap ton of money in units, or pop the crystals for them. So I think the current situation of arena is going to be even more detrimental for new champion kind of excitement and acquisition. Because no matter which one of those champions comes out first, realistically, we're going to see them at their final phase in August? September? So if Omega Sentinel comes out first at the beginning of March. It will take up until September to actually see a finalized version of Omega Sentinel. She's going to come out, then we're going to play with her, and we're going to spend for her and whatever for 3 months or for a month or something. Then there's going to be a beta, with amendments, adjusted version of Omega Sentinel. And then 6 months down the line, they're going to either improve her, leave her alone, or make her worse. And then that is when you actually get a finished product 6 months down the line, which also is coincidentally the time for the basic arena, where she is, going to be appearing in the basic arena, which means that basic arena is actually the main one now. I think that the featured arena, when champion initially gets released, it's kind of like a preview situation. You have initial kind of impressions, but it by no means going forward in the game, for me personally at the very least, will be the main point of investment or effort to try and acquire that champion. That will have to be pushed down 6 months down the line in basic arena, which will be much more feasible, or up until now has been much more feasible to get these champions in basic arena. So for players, perhaps that can even kind of like work relatively convenient, but it's just a very odd situation here. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about is obviously the change in arena. Now, I don't want to harp about the fact that, there might have been 11 or 10 people ahead of me who used unscrupulous means to put up as many points as I did. I wanted to talk about the fact that Captain America Sam Wilson is not even that overhyped of a champion. When I put up 182 millions, which was like only 3 million more than I did for Sam, that was a really hyped champion. Top 5 prestige champion that everybody was super hyped for. Captain America Sam Wilson is none of those things. He's not top prestige. He's not overhyped in pretty much any manner. Half of content creators can't even decide whether they properly like him. So he's about as random and kind of average as it gets. And even a champion like this can go that high today is, a clear indication of an absolute problem with Arena. Because Arena is not for the people anymore, in my opinion. Arena is not for the people who want to target a specific champion once in half a year. Even if you save up a ton of units ready to be refreshed, and even if you have, a relatively reasonable roster, that's not a feasible way to try and acquire a champion. Because, well, A, obviously you can end up with absolutely nothing. B, also because it's just not a normal amount of effort. And again, to be clear, I don't think that this is the same issue of same degree for 6-star basic arena. I don't think that this is the same issue with the same degree in 6-star featured arena when we are getting reruns of champions. I think this is issue primarily for brand new champions introduced in the game. The ones that are first time around. And my view of those arenas has pretty much changed to guaranteed cav win. Because realistically, if you're going to be grinding for Captain America Sam Wilson, even with top account in the game, even with, top 100, which my account was, when you can put up a ton of points, you're probably going to end up spending around $300 worth of units getting it. So the way I look at Arena right now is that you can go and open cavs for $300 and may or may not be getting the champion and pull a bunch of other champions, or you can go and grind Arena, spend $300-400 in refreshes and make sure you get that champion. But either way, that means that people who are not able to make that time commitment have no chance of getting the newest champion. Even if it's something you're excited, even if it's something you have saved for a really long time, it's much closer to just being a substitute to a very, very expensive guaranteed cav. Because it will inevitably incur a very large amount of cost in terms of units. And yeah, that is what I want to talk about. Again, I'm not that upset that I don't have that cap. I know that eventually I'm going to get him. I would have liked to get him, obviously, now. Hence, I grinded for him because I wanted to rank him up for defense and just kind of be able to test with him and play around with him. But, that's fine. I'm not that fast. I am just kind of fast that I did try it in the first place after about half a year not grinding for featured 6 stars. This was the first featured 6 star I tried to grind for in about 6 months. And, you know, I'm quite sure that it will be at the very least another 6 months before I try to grind for another featured 6 star. At least a brand new champion. So I just wanted to make this video to kind of share my thoughts, experiences, and everything else. But I hope you guys, you know, scored whatever scores you wanted to, got whatever you want from Arena. And I hope you guys have a great day. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the